Good evening, guys. Here we are back again. As I always say, another day, another dollar, another live stream. Whopper, whopper, whopper. Evening, Julia Cass. How are you? How you doing? So back again, and it still hasn't fully gone away yet. All this stuff with Russell Brand, all this with these allegations. It has died down a little bit, but there's still good few many articles you'll find online about it. And so I was going to be the main topic going through some of this stuff and just to see, Walder, I wouldn't be surprised if there's more allegations to come. But what do you guys think? Is this time for now, or is there still are we going to hear about a good few more of these similar incidents? He just released a statement. Wow. So I had time to do this, right, Shona? I've the timing must be perfect then. Hi there, Shona. Good to see you. See, I'll have to see this statement then. I was starting to think, yeah, this is he's too quiet, Russell Brand. He's been too quiet. Pen Bun's doing maybe I'll pop in, Julio Cass. Maybe I'll pop in. So got a statement. Let me see what. Is it a statement yet? I can't see anything. I know there's the whole stuff about Caroline Dinniage writing that letter to Rumble, but I can't see anything in a statement from Russell Brand himself, though. Hey, Maureen, how are you? On his YouTube channel. Yeah, this isn't the one from last week, though, is it? Is this a brand new one? His YouTube channel that he won't be making any money on, though, right? Oh, just 10 minutes. 10 minutes ago, right? I think he has, right? This is about 3 minutes 19 seconds. Right. Maybe is this one that we should watch along then? Maybe quite an interesting one. Do we watch this now? One moment. Maureen. It's always good to see you, Maureen. Where's Kat at? Where's all the rags? So he just put so. That's all he put. Interesting to see what he has to say on this one. Let's play it. I'll play it.
Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Obviously, it's been an extraordinary and distressing week, and I thank you very much for your support and for questioning the information that you've been presented with. By now, you're probably aware that the British government have asked big tech platforms to censor our online content, and some online platforms have complied with that request. What you may not know is that this happens in the context of the Online Safety Bill, which is a piece of UK legislation that grants sweeping surveillance and censorship powers, and it's a law that has already been passed. I also don't imagine you've heard of the Trusted News Initiative. Now, as is often the case when a word like trusted is used as part of an acronym to describe an unelected body, trust is the last thing you should be offering. The Trusted News Initiative is a collaboration between big tech and legacy media organizations to target, control, choke, and shut down independent media organisations, like this one. We'll be talking about that on our show on Monday on Rumble. But just to give you an idea of what the TNI is...
Oh, he's going to be back.
A quote from one of their spokespeople. Because the actual real rivalry now is not between the BBC and CNN globally, it's actually between all trusted news providers and digital platforms. It's clear that these organisations collaborate in constructing narratives, whether that's around the war or the pandemic, and of course there are other examples. It's very clear to me that we have to be very, very cautious indeed. That's why I'm asking you to follow me on Rumble. Rumble have made a clear commitment to free speech.
He's desperate for the followers, eh?
That we will be streaming from.
Desperate for the views, desperate for the money.
This Monday. And as usual, we'll be talking about deep state and corporate collusion and how ordinary democracy is anathema now, how it's shut down, ignored and avoided. We'll be talking about a military-industrial complex that is able to facilitate and start wars that seem sometimes to be little more than money laundering operations. And that's with all respect to the hundreds of thousands of victims of the numerous ongoing wars in the world at the moment. We'll be talking about the role of Big Pharma and how Big Pharma have been able to influence government policy around the world and how they've been able to evade due liability.
How about saying you're going to work with the police with these allegations that you're denying?
That perhaps ought be due them. And of course, we'll be talking about media corruption and censorship. So please follow me on Rumble, because that's the only way that we can keep our voice. You can go to rb.rumble.com to support me directly.
No.
And keep me and our channel independent. And I need your support now.
You're all right, mate.
And more than I ever imagined.
Sorry, mate, but it's a no.
So follow me, support our channel if you can, if it's within your means. But more important than any of that is that you please, if you can, stay free. Stay
free. With the hands up. Oh, me, gee. Now, where do you start with that? Well, again, I mean, he's saying all the right things right at the start, right? He's saying the things that, you know, the people like the truth movement, whatever, what people want to hear. You know, he's saying the things. I mean, there is some truth there with the big tech colluding or whatever, all these big corporations got a certain agenda, certain narrative. Yeah, these things are true. But again, very simple. That's not to say that all these allegations against him when it comes to sexual assault are untrue. So it's just classic deflecting. Again, it's typical Russell Brand, likes to use these big ass words. Jesus persona. Yeah, I know, Julia Cass, I know. And you know, and it seems that desperation right there. You just hear it, do you? Oh, please follow me on Rumble. He's just begging for followers now because he's starting to lose everything. You know, YouTube him. I'm not saying I agree with that, but that's what they've done. You know, he's lost publishers, what agents say. But when these type of allegations, that's what happens. But that's just typical, isn't it? He didn't directly reference the allegations, the freaking elephant in the room. We knew what he was kind of referring to, but he wasn't made a direct reference to it. You know, how about saying, I reiterate, I categorically deny all the allegations, all the relationships I had were consensual. And with this stuff, I've heard about, you know, the Met Police have done a probe on this about, was it one of the allegations from I think it was sexual assault from 20 years ago. Make it a point. Hey, I'll work with the police, and I'll look forward to clearing my name. You should have said something like that, right? Well, you would say something like that if you were innocent, right? If you were innocent. But obviously, let's just tell it like it is. Russell Brand is not innocent here. So there we are. I know, Lenny. I know. And this is the thing, right? The timing of this, right? The allegations, 2006 and 13. And then it was 2013. He does that interview with Paxman on Newsnight, and it's the whole thing about starting to start a revolution. And I must say, at that point, he came off pretty well. I thought, yeah, you know what, go Russell, tell it like it is. And it's been like 10 years in the making. This careful, has been very careful with what he's been doing and making it a point to gradually get away from mainstream media and to get into the alternative media world bubble, whatever you want to call it. And I was going to get into this stuff about why I think he has latched on to, I guess, what you call the right wing. I will get into that. You could say it was maybe a gradual change. His political views just changed. People's political views can change, right? People can go, Democrat to Republican, Republican to Democrat over their life, left to right, right to left, left to center, blah, blah, blah. But it just feels it was proper calculated by Brand. And yeah. Well, you quite like Russell Brand, do you, Shona? Or do you feel he's not guilty with these allegations, do you? Or, and of course, that's fine. I respect all opinions, you do. Yeah, that's cool. And everybody's obviously entitled to their own opinion. YouTube shut him down. I'm advised by legal team to broadcast a statement of refute. Maybe it's his ego, though, Maureen. Maybe it was just his ego. I was starting to think, this isn't like Russell Brand to be so quiet for so long, right? Because Russell Brand keeping quiet, not saying anything on social media for attention for 7 days now, that's quite a long time for Russell Brand with his ego, But yes, this is the stuff I was going to get into because so there's and I saw this article here on the Daily Mail. It's comedian Nish Kumar, and Nish Kumar claimed that Russell Brand's reputation for being a sex predator has been an open secret in British comedy since 2018. The late night MASH host, 38, also admitted he is aware of other alleged sexual assault incidents involving the shame comic that were not featured in the Bombshell Channel 4 Dispatches documentary last Friday, hinting more lewd claims may come out. He says knowledge of the alleged attacks were so widespread, Brand's work dried up as a result. He started to change his ways, alternative media, being a content creator. So his work dried up as a result. Kumar claimed no one wanted to work with him. It was discussed by multiple comedians in Edinburgh Fringe that shows following year 2018 that it was well known. He says, to be completely honest with you, the story that I had heard was relating to a sexual assault, but it wasn't covered in the Dispatches documentary, he said. There weren't stories that I'd actually heard about. So it is possible there are more allegations to come. So I was, the title of this, live stream, will there be more allegations to come? Well, that's, going by Nish Kumar's word, if that's what he's saying is true, there very well could be. So he's a flip-flop, knows nothing about politics or economics. Probably not really. Well, think back to how he acted back in, around 2005, 2012 time, He was just kind of almost like an airhead, wasn't he? Just his big ego. It was kind of just almost like a kind of like parody, and this guy was in his early mid-30s at that point. You think he would have matured by then, right? But yeah, so was it 3 of the 4 girls were played by actors shown on the documentary? Was there one that actually did? I don't know. She didn't clearly see her face, but you heard her voice, right? More intrusive, though. I don't know, Shona, because you could go to the police and police treat you as if you're not telling the truth. You'd maybe more of a thing going in confidence when you've got a rape crisis center, maybe perhaps. Biggest babe here, Cara. we're all babes here, right? I go on though. So yeah, so Nish Kumar says if you look at Russell Brand's IMDb page, you see that his television work in Britain starts in 2018, 2019, and because increasingly people were just not willing to work with him. Kumar's friend and fellow stand-up star Katherine Ryan was the first person in comedy to break ranks by accusing Brand of being a sex predator. So they're making this very clear now. They're not even saying she allegedly accused him. It's just out in the open. She accused him of being a sex predator while they appeared as judges on Comedy Central's Roast Battle in 2018. Brand has been subject to claims from a number of women accusing him of abusive and predatory behavior, including rape, sexual assault, and multiple abuse between 2006 and 2006 to 2013. So Kumar said on this podcast, Politics Podcast, he claimed there are other sex predators still working in comedy, and young women are warned not to enter their dressing rooms. Stuff is still happening, he says. There are still people working in comedy who are the subject of open skits. Wonder who that could be. There are still people who work in comedy that we can't name because, again, of the threat of lawsuits. And there are still people working comedy who people will say, oh, we don't send young women into their dressing rooms. Now, at that stage, for me, you should be sacked. Kumar, who has been a big critic of the press, then commended the journalist who brought the allegations against Brand to light, as well as paying tribute to the alleged victims for bravely telling their story. He added, the only people that come out with this with any credibility are the victims who have been brave enough to step forward, and the journalists who have worked extremely hard to produce rigorous pieces of journalism so that they could get around the threats of a very powerful man's lawyers. And until we start asking ourselves the hard questions, we're never, ever, ever going to progress out of this. So there you have it there. Nish Kumar claims Russell Brand's reputation as a predator was well known in the comedy circles. Join Philip Schofield and Skip Lenny. And true. Friday night shandies. Aye. What are you drinking, Maureen? Is that something that you're a bit skeptical of then, Shona? You thought maybe if you didn't see their faces, you at least would be able to hear their voices, or Brand is well lawyered up? Oh, absolutely. She'd be great with all the Doric Cara. She would be excellent. Chavanawa. Well, I mean, they want anonymity. Anonymity. Did I say that word right? Sorry. I could understand victims not wanting it to be out there who they are. That can be the case with some victims, but not every victim. I mean, it is an interesting point, Shona, right? It's an interesting point because when I think of like the R. Kelly thing, surviving R. Kelly, I don't think there was anybody on that series, and there was 2 seasons of it, right? I don't think there was anyone who was anonymous, right? It was that was the actual person you saw, their voice. There was no actors. I don't know who was played by an actor or a different voice. So you got a point there, Shona. I sing and play piano in bars and restaurants for a living, and then, all right. Is it still quite bad? Is it not gotten better over time, Shona, how guys can behave? That's not nice. Yeah, you think really you'd come a long way. I mean, I used to work at DFS, God, years back, and the salesmen were proper, sexist with the way they spoke. It was like, didn't like being around them at all, but it was just kind of commonplace. It was just accepted, I don't think it would be accepted today though, but oh, is it? Is it? Nah. That's I just know sometimes like guys can still try and cross the line, but that's not nice of it's still that type of harassment, though. Do you play? You play ever play gigs here showing up in Aberdeen, or are you around my way, or no spring chicken? Neither am I. But one moment. Uh, oh, you're Glasgow. All right. I've got a few relatives in Glasgow, Shona. Uh, a few cousins, aunties. Uh, Edinburgh though is really where I like to go. That's where my mum's from. My mum's from there. That's where my grandparents lived. I've got a lot of love for Glasgow though as well. Did you not hear it, Lanny, earlier when I was playing it, or was the audio not the best? Basically, what he's saying though, that he's begging for followers. He wants people to follow him on Rumble. I think he's doing some live stream on Monday on the Rumble platform. Dumfries. All right, right. So you've never been up this way before, showing Aberdeen, or still a few places I need to see in Scotland. To be fair, I've never been to Inverness before. That's one place I'd have to visit. Geocast, you've never been to Scotland? I definitely got to come one day, mate. Highly recommend Edinburgh. Princes Street, the castle right in the city centre, really is lovely. I think you'd really like Edinburgh. I think that'd be your kind of city. All right, interesting. Right, right. Were your parents a bit skeptical of dating a guy up from Aberdeen? Like, sometimes like Aberdonians, Glaswegians, we kind of have this weird thing where we don't really click. I've even found that with people like Dundee, like when Dundee people like Dundonians have been funny with me how they come off. Even people from Edinburgh, and I don't know like what it is. Is it just a thing like you don't like my accent, or what is it? Like, I know certain accents can be quite, harsh sounding, Glasgow accent can be, certain areas quite strong, Liverpudlian accent, but it's no reason to dislike somebody just because you don't like their accent, though. But yeah, Granite, Shona, Granite. We're the Granite City. All right, yeah, yeah. No, it's fine up here. It's fine. We've even been getting some pretty nice weather as well. We get the sun quite a lot now. Pretty hot when it gets really warm here in the summer. It's roasting. I'll tell you. Get judged on my accent all the time. Yeah, I swear to me, you sounded Irish, mate, when I heard you on the call, and on Penny Bunny. Yeah, I know. And to be fair, this is the thing. I'm calling myself out. I've maybe been guilty of it in the past as well, like because don't think I don't really like a Liverpool accent, or maybe I don't know a London accent. People in America, people think because you have a southern accent that you're dumb, you're stupid. Like that's not fair, you know? Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't sound typical hard Scottish accent. I don't come off like I've got a real hard Scottish accent. Me and Cara joke. She'll call me posher. I suppose I do maybe have a bit more of a refined accent, but I still, like when I'm out with mates, I'll turn the Scottish up, as I like to say. Um, but one thing though, I think I've said this before. Like, I feel like if you're from Scotland, right, you've been born and raised here your whole life, and let's say you don't have, let's say you've got like a posh English accent, like I don't know, I don't think I can trust you. When people sound English, even though they've been born and lived here their whole freaking life, nah, I don't rock with that. Basic Instinct 2. Didn't Stan Collymore appear in that film at the very start? His acting career ended quite abruptly after that, Lenny. I suppose, kind of, we've all been guilty of judging. Weird mix of Glaswegian and Dumfries. Right. I never thought the Aberdeen accent was ever that distinct. Like, to the point where it's like, I don't know if I met somebody, I would necessarily know they're Aberdonian right away. Like, I probably could now, but before I wouldn't. Um, you could obviously pick up a Glaswegian accent right away, even an Edinburgh accent, pick that up. Sticks out, right. Yeah, I think my mom ultimately got it when she moved. But then again, my mom's 64. She came here when she was like 19, 20. So you would sound Aberdonian. Even my auntie, who's from Edinburgh, went to Glasgow for university. She's got a proper strong Glaswegian accent as well. It's funny. Is he? I know he still has his, doesn't he? He's got his bouts with depression, and he sometimes will. I know he goes off the rails, but he'll have a bit of a rant and maybe take it a bit too far when he's talking about football and that. He'll get in Twitter spats with fat people on Twitter, but Cadman, I can. What do you guys think, though? I mean, do you think overall with this Russell Brand stuff, will there be more allegations to come, or do you think this will be it for now? What do you guys think overall, though, with this? Natasha McElhone, British actress. Do I know her? I don't know. I mean, McElhone. I mean, is maybe Irish heritage, Scottish heritage, or I mean, with Mick Elhone possibility, it could be Irish heritage. That's a good one. What will he be Captain Hook, will he, and Peter Pan? He'd be good with the long hair, right? He would. No, that's fine, Sean. That's fine. I like play devil's advocate as well. Although I'm not really down with the devil because I believe in God. But yeah, though, I know what you mean. How was that experience for you, Maureen, at the Great Northern School? Looking at the things that Natasha McElhone was in, can't think it was anything that I would have seen. Hmm. I suppose you wouldn't say she's necessarily a super famous actress, right? Kind of more regular working actress, or so was that your thing, Maureen? Like a teacher with kids was sign language? Is that what was that what you specialized in, or well, I mean, they have it in for him, Shona. They have it in for Russell Brand, and that's the thing. There is an agenda behind it. Um, and maybe he went too far when it was all the stuff with Bill Gates, calling out Bill Gates, and he was saying a lot of good things there when it comes to Bill Gates. But and I suppose you could say, well, how can what would be the best way to discredit Russell Brand? It's him, this guy who's saying all these things that's pissing off, clearly going to piss off the people, the people, the elite. But it's probably one of those things they're sitting on. You know what I mean? I still feel, well, the allegations very well could be true, but it's one of those things where they're thinking, we'll wait, we'll bide our time. No, you've gone too far now, Russell. Gone too far, mate. Now we're going to pounce. But a sports teacher, all right, nice. I think you would have loved me, Maureen, if you had me as a student. I was pretty athletic, and I would always win the sprints and the cross country. Sprinting was more my thing, I preferred sprinting. Cross country was a bitch, like it was. Well, I suppose. I mean, he obviously would have had some regular jobs early on when he was struggling to make his way in show business, Lanny. So I don't know if he's ever had it that easy, but yeah, I'm good, Scandroid. Good to see you on here. French, English music. Yeah, I did all right in music. Played a bit of guitar. I did German. I did okay in German. I did all right. I mean, overall, in my fourth year at school, got all my standard grades, passed everything there. Was essentially winging it, and then got to fifth year, and the winging it only lasted for so long. And but I did well in business management. I passed that. Everything else, I fucked it up and failed. Um, and then I went on to college and did business. Business is my main thing though, but that's what they should be teaching kids at school more about making money, then you could save your money and then invest it. But they keep us blind about that though, do they? I hate those career advisor guidance folk as well. It's like, like when you go and see them when you're like only maybe 13 or 14, and then they're wanting to like find out what it is you want to do for a job. And it's like, it's such early days as well. It's like, okay, maybe when you get to around 15, going on 16, but you should still be just enjoying your time while you're young, making the most of it, having fun, and make most importantly, be happy. Now, very cool, very good, Julia Cass. I can tell you've got something to you, and you are a very articulate guy. Gymnast, taught trampoline, running. Nice, nice, Maureen. I don't do running too much these days, but I might want to get back into maybe playing football stuff that games get maybe organized guys, it's 5 aside, 7 aside, whatever. I was an all right footballer as well. I was a defender. Played for Aberdeen Lads Club. Funny enough, the team that Dennis Law played for when he was a young kid. Yeah, I remember a story of one kid in the early 70s, Lanny, where guidance counselor, or whatever the hell. And he was like wanting to talk. He was talking, thinking about further education, going to university. And I think the guidance person told him that you should. This guy was like Indiana. It's like what you should do is go out and get a job in the factory or whatever. And that was going to be his. That was it. That was going to be his life, working in a factory. Dead end, essentially. More of a sprinter. Yeah, me too. Me too. I could still win cross countries though, but God, I hated them. It wasn't really good for me. I mean, I have asthma, so that's still like a godsend. You have that challenge being asthmatic, but I could still outrun everybody. But Dead Ballet showing up right. Not that familiar with ballet myself, but you probably wouldn't be surprised to hear. Did remember watching Billy Elliot as a kid though. It was a really good movie. I'd watched that actually quite a lot. You were at college with James McAvoy. Ah, interesting. Did you know him quite well, or told the limitations having your potential? Absolutely, yeah. And we're all guilty of how we can do that with other people, of putting them down, how we perceive others. We have that kind of, sadly, that nasty streak in us, Um, that I mean, I get it. I understand it's human nature. You want to be better than other people, but sometimes it's just we need to kind of check ourselves though, and just try and be humble and help people as well as helping ourselves. Ah, right. Nice. Nice, Shona. Interesting. And did you see it? Did you see that success? Did you think he was going to end up becoming a very successful actor, Shona, or was it a bit of a surprise? I wouldn't. Oh, ankle breaks common, Jay. I was just thinking about this earlier, Lanny. I went through my whole time playing football, obviously contact sport. I never got injured. Never ever injured. Now, I was never really playing at a proper full on competitive level. I mean, I would play Saturday, Sunday league a lot of the time. It would almost be every week, but I was very lucky to never to be injured. Half the cast of Shameless were at college. Right. Yeah, yeah. The Shameless show was not too bad. Yeah, I didn't follow it, but from what I did see, it wasn't an avid follower of it, but what I saw it was pretty funny. Yeah, the guy actually that plays for Rangers show now, Ryan Jack. I was at school with him. He was in a couple of my classes. Don't know how familiar you are with football or not, Shona. I don't know if you've got a team or I'm an Aberdeen fan myself. Like, gave up the dancing for music. I've tried to play a little bit of keyboard, Shona. I did try and compose a couple of things. I need to try and get back to that because it's one of those things you always have to try and write it down or record it because if you don't, then you just end up forgetting it and it messes with your head. It's like, oh shit, couldn't remember that classic thing that you was able. Oh, he's an Aberdeen fan, right, right. And it's not like I think like your dad's not Aberdonian. He just really likes Aberdeen and supports them, right? Classic Celtic fan. At the top of the league right now. They'll probably end up running away with it though soon. They should win the league this season. Bankery. Well, Bankery's close enough though. That's Bankery. That's a very nice area. I'd go there a lot of time if I like May Day holidays and stuff. I really like Bankery. I haven't seen that film though. No, I haven't. Yeah, yeah, he does like the Nolans, does he, Maureen? Yeah, what was that sexy dancing song or something you told me about? Julia Cass, which was actually not too bad. Some other stuff here about Russell Brand. Russell Brand joked about catching girls with Tim Westwood and 16-year-old sex party and an unearthed BBC Radio 2 clip. Um, this said there was like a Radio 2. He was on having a conversation with DJ Tim Westwood. He himself has been quizzed by cops over alleged sex offences where they laughed about Westwood being a pimp. In the recording, which would have been in the BBC studio, Westwood said to Brand, "You're better just hitting a better class of girl right now. You don't need to call me to hook you up." Brand replied, "Tim Westwood, I never looked at you as a pimp in a literal sense." Huh. Obviously, in reference to Pimp My Ride that Westwood used to host. Westwood responded, I think you did. You used to come to my parties and do the crazy frog. I believe it was a popular dance at some point. Do the crazy frog on stage and catch girls, man. Brand said, that's the policy I use for women. Let's not get bogged down in things like age, race, or whether or not they're awake. He sounds like Jimmy Savile at that point, whether or not they're awake. It's like, gee. And people just write this off. It's just, oh, that's Russell Brand. That's just his humor. He's just having a laugh. He's just having a joke. No worries, Shona. No, it's fine. Yeah. Always welcome back, Shona. It was good to see you. Rumble, Poundland, YouTube. And I suppose in a way it is, but I don't think you can make the money off of it like you can make money off on YouTube, like, but Daily Motion, that's one of those you forget. You forget Daily Motion's still around, eh? And then also with Russell Brand, he said it was recorded telling a nearly 16-year-old girl to have a sex party. A 15-year-old called up BBC Radio 2 and asked Brand what she should do for her 16th birthday. Brand said, 16th party? You've had 15 up to now. Do you have one every year? But are you're 16 years of age? She tells him, I'm going to be in February, but what ideas? Brand replies, I suppose you're 16, but you can't really drink booze yet or any drugs because that's illegal. 16, right? Now you'll be legally be allowed to have sexual partners. Now I think you should theme the party around legal sex. So it's a pretty inappropriate the stuff that he's saying there, right? And no one batted an eyelid back then, though, 2007 time. Well, I mean, they said Russell Brand, Joe, he was making about $1 million a year from YouTube Inc. And he'll still make a lot of good money on Rumble. Did you see Penny Bunny's live stream earlier, Geocast, or? I saw it briefly. She was talking about getting into the stuff with Russell Brand. Maybe I'll pop on the live stream though, or the call-in though she'll do on Sunday. Maybe I'll come on. Penny Bunny's taking Russell Savile. Well, she believes that I think it's a hit job and that this is all fake news, basically, Lenny. But I would say probably Westwood and Russell Brand, they seem probably they're cut from the same cloth. And, you see what he's joking about there with Tim Westwood, with all the accusations he's got. And some people I've heard speculate that Tim Westwood's a Freemason and he'll probably get away with this, He won't get arrested or anything. Or it's just amazing though, that guy from the National Housing Party goes on and there's people on there who actually take him seriously. It's like I couldn't tolerate that, Julia Cass. Mm, 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 mm. Russell could go in this morning. I just wonder if there was any was he ever saying did he ever say anything funny on that show this morning? I think Lorraine Kelly had said about how they had done an interview years back and he had something he had said something that was a bit inappropriate to her. Hiya, Happy Brewer. Yeah, we started off the live stream. It was Russell Brand's come out with a statement, and it's basically him just trying to claim that this attack on him, it's big tech, it's the big media corporation or whatever, the elite all colluding, and that he's basically was begging people to follow him on Rumble. It was basically, please follow me on Rumble. It wasn't, I look forward to this investigation and working with the police to clear my name, and I'm not guilty. It was just no, please follow me to Rumble so I can get more views and make a bit more money because I've been demonetized off of YouTube. That's what it was. Yeah, yeah. I don't think Penny Bunny did like that. She does like to exert her authority, does she? I've noticed that. I did a video earlier, guys. It was allegations, similar allegations against Paul Joseph Watson. I don't know if you came across that video that appeared. Catch that on my channel. The titled "Very Shocking Allegations Against Paul Joseph Watson." That's one that's no one's touched that. I'm surprised no one has done anything on that. One article online 2 months ago. Haven't seen any videos of it. People talking about it online though. Never had proof, but I always felt he was a wrong'un. You were the first I heard about Paul Joseph Watson. Ah, right, right. Have you been on one of these live streams before, Happy Brewer? I feel like your name rings a bell, like you maybe been on one before. Or is this your first one? So, Lanny, some people are drinking the brand Kool-Aid. They can't accept their hero as a wrong'un. Yeah, that's the thing, Lanny. And that's what I was thinking about this earlier. It's just like, come on, guys, just have a bit of humility. Just admit it, you were duped. You know, I sometimes I don't think there's nothing wrong with just admitting that, hey, you got conned, right? You were duped. I can admit it. I did start to buy into his shtick a little bit. But I was never a subscriber though. I was never at that stage. Just watch an odd video here and there. Never would watch them, and never ever I think watched them, any of his videos in their entire. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have to be honest, just accept it. I mean, I can do that because I'll give people a chance. I try and have faith in people and want to believe they're good. I'm not a cynical person. I don't have this type of apathy where I'm always looking and thinking that person's not good. I can't trust them. But right, right. Something, Happy Brewer. There's a lot of potential. Like, and with YouTube, it's up to you what you do with it. And there's a few different ideas I have. I just want to grow the channel and could have sub channels. And I remember somebody who I knew that I used to actually was in a job with said, one day you're going to have your own radio show, because I was a very like opinionated fucker. And and I thought, you know what? He says, talking about that in a way, it was like kind of in a complimentary kind of way. I took it as a compliment, but so if I take it, Lanny, you've never really followed this guy, Russell Brand, and take it you've never really been a fan, right? And I mean, I never particularly liked the guy either, but it wasn't like I had this like disdain for him, like I hated him. But close ones do seem to know there's a dark agenda in the entertainment industry. Interesting. Is there anybody you can name that you're friends with, that you're famous, or could drop us any clues? Or oh no, that's fine. That's fine, Happy Brewer. That's okay. I wouldn't go blabbing though, Happy Brewer, and telling stories about so and so said this. Not my style, but just curious. But Lenny, I always thought Brand was a gimmicky clown with no substance, but the Guardian, BBC, Channel 4 gave him loads of time for years. Yeah, I know. He just reached a certain level of fame, and I suppose the Katy Perry marriage helped. I mean, they both benefited off of that, didn't they? I mean, because Russell Brand benefited from it because that got him to the next level with Hollywood and getting in films. And I think Katy Perry benefited off of it being dated and getting married to a famous person that that she wouldn't end up being a flash in the pan pop star, that she would remain in the limelight. So it may have been one of those arranged type relationships. It wouldn't surprise me that they had people in their circle in that industry, in that world, that advised them on this and told them, hey, this is going to work out for both of you. This is a two-way street kind of thing. Well, her name's still out there though, is it, Lanny? I mean, she's married to Orlando Bloom, right? Famous A-list actor. Getting married to another famous person, it always helps, right? Look at Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kim Kardashian, Kanye West. It helps, right? Keep them in the spotlight. I mean, that's the reason why Kim Kardashian ended up with, bloody Pete Davidson. She could have been with like a 6'3" alpha male, jacked up dude. Not any fame, but she chose to be with Pete Davidson. There's obviously a reason for that. Other than, oh, but he's so funny and, all that bullshit. I'm trying to think there's actually a Katy Perry song I like, and I can't think of one. Like, the only one I can think of where I think the Calvin Harris one feels is okay, but then she's on that with Pharrell, Big Sean. It's Calvin Harris, really. It's his song. And she's got that kind of was it like that Jamaican accent on the hook? And it's the only time where I thought that she, like, okay, fair enough, that's an all right song, but it's not, she's just featured on it, but. Well, it is ridiculous. I know, Lanny, I know, but. It's kind of a myth, is it, though, Lanny Love, eh? What was it Prince Charles infamously said? Love, whatever that means, in front of when he's standing right there with Diana after they'd married. Yeah, he's very careful, isn't he, Happy Brewer? He can manipulate people, and now he's manipulating people in this, alternative media world, telling them exactly what he knows they want to hear. Yeah, I'm not saying he wasn't telling the truth though, Lenny. I mean, yeah, it is kind of a myth. Who is it that I remember somebody that was quite well known that was saying that, you shouldn't actually marry for love. It is more about the compatibility. Yeah, I know the body language. I know. I've seen that clip. Yeah. I suppose Diana was seen as kind of like the damsel in distress type, right? But then from what I hear from people though at the time, because I was a young kid, I barely knew Diana, but she wasn't exactly a saint herself, right? Loving someone unconditionally, like some faultless divine deity, is arguably a recipe for eventual disappointment. Yeah, you just get your heart broken in the end, right? Right. Okay. So I think I'm just going to wrap this live stream up in just a minute or two. But I mean, before I can though, we can discuss some other things, some other topics. Doesn't have to be a Russell Brand. It can just be anything you want, movies, music. So it's on your mind. Just fire away. See, Al Nassr, Ronaldo's team are trending. Looks like they won. Ronaldo scoring goals for fun again. I see, or they won 4-3. Let me guess, they got a 90th minute goal. Oh no. Say my truth. I hate either it's true or a lie. It's like I hate that. It was always old used those with eyes, yeah. And it was that thing. I mean, no surprise the allegations are in 2006, 2013. 2006 started to change up 2013, sorry, started to change up his image, being like that spiritual leader or whatever. Was kind of like left, flirting with the far left initially, taking the mick out of Trump and the Fox News crowd, and then gradually kind of went over to that crowd. Gradual thing from maybe, I don't know, about 2020, 2020 to the recent times, from this year. And it's not even subtle when you see some of his videos he's done this year. It's pro Trump. It's obvious. That's got to be by design, right? But it could be just genuine. This is how he feels, and these are his views. It could be just he's gone down a deep rabbit hole, looking up stuff online. Alex Jones. Because he was on Alex Jones' show. This is like way back. This is like 2013 time. I think it would have just been after the whole appearance he did with Piers Morgan. With the 1776 will commence again. You take our guns rant that Alex Jones did, but it may have just been something where you went down a rabbit hole watching Alex Jones films. It can happen to a lot of us. It happened to me initially. Early on. I started getting into Alex Jones, David Icke around 2011 time. And Kanye West got into that shit as well, and that really changed his outlook and perspective on the world. And Christmas speech together on this Coast Pizza Press. I and Prince Andrew will be making a guest appearance, will you, Lenny? 16-year-old with 13-year-old, my heart is a nonce. But it's borderline, is it, Happy Brewer? It's borderline. But Russell Brand's smart enough that you could get away with it if it's legal age. Unlike R. Kelly, Russell Brand was smart enough to do it the way, he could get away with it legally. No, they don't. I know. And he won't be getting out early, will he? On good behavior. Can't see it happening, but no, morality, absolutely. I know what you're saying, Happy Brewer. I know what you're saying. Yeah, because I don't think R. Kelly can get the chance of a reduced sentence, can he? Again, I'm not entirely sure how all the way the legal system works. America, if it's more lenient than it is over here, or Oh god, yeah, that was just embarrassing, wasn't it? That Gail King interview. That was just yeah, that was bad. I just wonder what made him think it was a good idea to do it in the first place, you know? But that was going to somehow help in any way. Okay, so I think I'm just going to wrap now, guys, the live stream. So thanks very much for everybody who came on. So it was good to get into this stuff again with the Russell Brand, the controversy. Again, will there be more allegations to come? It wouldn't surprise me. There could be a good couple more. I don't know if this story's going to have the same legs that like Philip Schofield, all that stuff had. That seemed to go on for about was it a good 5 weeks. Now, thanks, Lenny, mate. It was good for you to contribute. Always good for you. Good when you're in the chat. Oh, no problem, Cara. Anytime. So thank you all for who came on. Thanks very much, and I think I'll probably be back for one around Sunday evening. So I'll be back again doing another one, doing another live on Sunday. So thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, he's going to revive what's left of his career on Rumble. Russell Brand. I know. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Thanks for everybody who came on. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Cheers. Bye.